gets the opportunity to do so, of course, we know that he has the skill.
So right off the bat, we have a mid control. This is definitely going to be a mid control round from the attackers. And it looks like Nitro is going to be over this B site. And his goal is to make sure no one can push B, right? He has a wall, he has slows, he's going to offer a quick rotate to come in. I'm sure we're going to see a wall if Steel spots anything, but we're not going to see that. And Omen's putting so much pressure on mid. GMT is aggressively taking this stand.
And GMD lining up the paranoia there for Catwalk and Tree, and that's going to allow his teammates to enter, or maybe not. The counter utility there from Asuna, the paint shells will actually deny them, and that's a great win early on here for the likes of Genji. Asuna, though, playing around in the smoke, trying to see if he can find something. He was spotted there. Could be some spam that might find a kill, but very tentative action here, very scary things, but a reset, just buying some time, and it looks like they want to re-exec in towards that tree position. But Genji, they're still holding on to this. They don't want to give it up.
What a great smoke coming in from Ethan. And the triple cat setup versus the cat hit. Genji is coming out on top.
Rushing straight through to the side as well. So it's looking pretty good for them in terms of the side take. But, of course, you know, the post plant, the retake is now on. See Hiko just maintaining control of rafters. And 100 Thieves will just set themselves up here, readying themselves to coordinate in for a push.
Well, this is going to be such a hard retake here for 100 Thieves. They have the paranoia still. They do not. So this is going to be almost impossible without an A main smoke.
There we go, straight through the door, making the action happen. Genji only with the side to defend from, but they are connecting the bullets that they need to win this round. Great stuff there from Genji to hold that retake against 100 Thieves. And already, I'm liking what we're seeing, Sean. We're seeing plays, we're seeing counters, you know, action, reaction, and it's not looking too one-sided. Every sort of situation looks like it could go either way. That, to me, signals good things going forward here.
Yeah, I love the play out of Genji. I mean, I mentioned Ethan's perfect time on the counter smoke, but here's the thing. If they just jump through that smoke on a pistol round, the likelihood of them getting, you know, two of them taken out is so unlikely. You get vision so quick coming out of that Omen smoke. They just plow through it, take the A site, and they get the frag on Omen. So there's no smokes for A main, there's no paranoia into the site, and the hold just becomes so much easier for Genji. Really sick take there.
Here.
And I'm really happy. I'm always happy to see, especially the underdog team, in a matchup at the beginning of the series, on the attacking side, winning the pistol and getting to start to set the pace, maybe condition their opponents. They get to play their game plan. And then in that sense, I like to see that because it's just really cool to see what a team is prepared without having too many problems thrown in the works early on. Now, of course, we have a pause at the moment, so we'll get to talk about the setup, or what we should expect, at least from Genji. You know, they've just won the pistol round. We can actually see there that Steel's bought a Bucky, and we know, of course, he loves playing with the Bucky, especially around the A site. But it's a stack towards the B site otherwise for the rest of the 100 Thieves members. So that seems to be the place where Genji would find the most problems. But Genji tend to be a team, Sean, I've noticed on Ascent, that they play their anti-ecos fairly predictably. And that has actually been punished in the previous matches that I've seen from them. Once the team kind of realizes that the kind of flow that they have throughout the kind of early to mid round.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Steel with that Bucky. It's terrifying. It's terrifying watching him because he knows the optimal distance for that right click. He pings the ground, you know, gets X meters away where he can one-shot people with ease, and he plays it so well. He plays it like some kind of weird mad scientist that's trying to make all of his opponents mauled by one-shotting them with a Bucky, right? And then he has a turret holding his catwalk, and you can see he placed that turret in such a way where if the enemies smoke those stairs, the turret won't get smoked off. So it's in the exact little corner to dodge that. And then the molly he has at the A site, that's by the switch. So if the team does an A strat, and you know they're rushing the A site, he'll back off and he'll pop that Molotov so that way no one can close the door. It's actually brilliant. His setup right here at the A site, because he's all alone, it's an eco round, he's going to have a Bucky. He's just trying to do a lot of damage and make people go the other way. Meanwhile, these other four guys on 100 Thieves are going to stack the B site. It could get scary. It could get scary if Genji doesn't take this correctly. But if you look at Genji, you know, their turret's deep outside of B main, so we're probably going to see something more passive over towards B. They're honestly looking like they're going to gravitate more towards an A control type anti-eco.
And one of the things I've noticed too about Genji's approach in the anti-eco is that they tend to kind of late finish around market and after gaining information. Obviously, it always depends on the info that they've gained as to how they will make decisions around that. But well, the action is about to kick off, and it will give us the answers we're looking for. And
Little HUD glitch there with Win on the Viper. Only in our dreams. Only in our dreams, Dan. Look at this aggression. The arrow through the smoke.
So we'll be able to defend that. So definitely we're anticipating early round aggression. And, well, they might not walk into steal now, having killed a bunch of players towards the main. Hiko, that's actually a really great kill to get, especially in a forward position. No one's going to really want to push into B main now, especially because Kusta's alone. He will be the only person to do it.
Yeah, and they just spotted steal on catwalk, so they know both players are 1-1 split right now. If they make a move quick, Genji will have a 1-on-3 out of sight. You can see GMD lurks out A main, and he's doing this because he knows 1 cat, 1 B, so he knows A is open. But his team is rushing B right into these two players, Dan.
Oh god, it's starting to get a little bit scary. Another headshot coming in from Hiko with that Sheriff, and it's going to slow things down. And they're going to have to wait for GMD. Indeed, that's that late lurk through A definitely paying off. This is a lot of damage, and it just goes to show why Genji gave so much respect to Under Thieves here, because despite winning the round, that was pretty losable. And every, just 2 players left, very dangerous situation. But regardless, it will be a conversion, 2 rounds to 0 now in favor of Genji, moving into the first buy round.
Yeah, I really like how Genji's approaching these early rounds. They had a safety net, right? That's why I like to call these, GMD's lurk, right? Typically, you don't want that lurk across the map, but on these eco rounds where you're going to run into stacks, people taking heavy risks because they don't have the utility. They don't have the weapons to take the one-on-ones like they would on a normal round. So you're going to see a lot of stacks, a lot of aggression, kind of similar to what we saw at 100 Thieves. So how do you combat that? You leave people on the opposite side of the map to take ground while you push the side you're on. So GMD acts as, a safety blanket. They fall back into him and he secures the round.
So going into the first defaults in his buy rounds, because we have some Spectres still in play for Genji, what would you want to see them actually try and accomplish here? Are we looking for a faster round to kind of make good of those Spectres? Is that too predictable? Does Genji just want to start, setting the pace for how their defaults are going to look in the 4 buy rounds? What should they be up to here?
There's really no right answer, right? Because if they go slow, they bleed out utility from the other team. That's costing them money. If they take armor away from the other team, that's upgrades to them. If they rush all in one spot with the Spectres have a better chance. So they have a lot of approaches they could do here, but you can see they left enough money in the bank. They didn't bolt buy out fully because even if they lose this round, they can buy again next round. Oh, wow, that's a lot of info. Win pushes through the one-way smoke at A main, Dan, breaks the boombot, one-ways himself into safety, takes the orb. That's a big play from a Jet alone in A main.
Yeah, and we can see that GMD's actually gained some forward position in mids, and he's going to be throwing that paranoia. We saw that previously to clear out position.
Oh, no.
Catwalk, Asuna, though, able to defend, able to pick up the first kills. It's looking a little bit scary, but nice trace coming through from Michael, and GMD able to punish the rotation. That's what he was always there to do after that paranoia, so it's working out quite nicely so far for Genji, but Hiko, always a problem, especially when he's by himself. He gets even stronger, takes down Michael. 2 more players on the side to go as he starts to try to work this gen position. Very difficult finding the 1v1s, isolating players, but there's simply too much to do before Steel is arriving. And arrive he does, and with the Bucky no less. Straight through the smoke! You saw it happening, but GMD, he had the sense, he knew something was awry, and he manages to pick it up. 3-0 for Genji.
Yeah, I pointed out early in the round, when taking control of A main, Dan, that was huge, because if you saw the minimap, 300 Thieves players really wanted to take A main this round. They threw a one-way smoke, they had a boombot, Hiko was there as the Sova, they were ready to push A main, and one Jet pushed them off of it, right? Which means they probably are assuming more people than just the Jet or A main, but they're wrong. It's a fast cat split, and it caught them massively off guard. Great round by Genji.
Very promising to see such a solid start, but his early days still, of course. And 100 Thieves once again on the eco, looking to get aggressive in mid around Cat. You can see they have players positioned fairly close by, all around market and close mid. Michael with the
Steel
drone.
is dead. Steel is dead, Dan. Oh, but
That's a big
there's a
pickup.
lack of punishing, and the drone misses Steel. It's terrible.
Uh-oh, it's starting to get a little bit scary. Genji, going to be defending pretty effectively, though. Still, damage has been done. We can see the situation is reset. 2 versus 2, and a lurk from Win into that A site is going to give Genji an opportunity to get the spike planted, which is going to be a very, very difficult scenario, I would expect, from 100 Thieves. And Win has that forward positioning on rafters, so he's going to be able to get info, fall back. He's going to be able to shut them down. He's got Cloudburst available, the dash as well.
Beautiful position, Dan.
Enemy remaining.
And there it is. Gets the kill, plays it safe, dashes away, and then he knows precisely where Hiko is. And Hiko's, of course, going to give his position away with the recon dart. Very difficult position to find yourself in. Hiko, no stranger to a clutch. Sheriff in hand as he tries to find the first player. There is Win, and he's going to finish it off. Genji 4-0 up, but another anti-eco that's very scary, Sean.
Whew. I don't know how I did it. I talked about Genji a lot in the pregame with you, and we didn't really mention much Win. He is such an impressive player when I watch him. So many experienced plays, like lurking out of A right there. I mentioned the round before on the anti-ecos, have lurks on the opposite side of the map that can take ground. He did exactly that in the 2-on-2 and then pushed further into heaven to secure the round. I think if I had a word to describe him, it would be slippery. Like, he's very slippery. You can't find him, you can't catch him. He's so good with the movement abilities on Jett.
I'm liking how he's also representing once again that he's by himself doing this A main control. You can see his teammates are sort of lagging behind him, and that is part of their default. So it's always the case that, is it just Win or is it the entire team, question mark? Either way.
If you caught that, Dan, so he got paranoid, and GMD threw a counter paranoia to protect him in case anyone was pushing. But no one else is making noise. So 100 Thieves has no idea that 5 people are in A main right now, because it looks exactly like that cat split from the prior round. Look how out of position 100 Thieves is right now.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a full retake scenario for 100 Thieves here. They've completely given up control of the A site by design. We've got the lockdown destroyed. Steel. If he gets the kill, he actually has a lockdown available himself. On that operator, though, it's awkward at the best of times on a retake like this. Oh, so scary. A full 5-on-5
fight,
retake.
Dan. That's a huge win from Mikael on Catwalk.
Hiko now railing onto the A site. There comes the Showstopper as well. That's going to find Win in hell, and it seems like all the ults are going to be used in this round for this retake. Michael and Kusta just stuck behind this dark cover. It's going to be so difficult. They're going to have to try to force the issue here because SMG is coming. Michael, can he get it done? Finds the second pistol, comes out, and Steel's going to find it. Has to get off the spike to do it, but he will get it. And that's the first round awarded to 100 Thieves. Crazy scenario there, Sean. Just a full 5-on-5 retake with so many ults used.
Yeah, that's a bonkers round right there. And 100 Thieves absolutely needed that to stop the bleeding, right? Wasting those ults that we saw, Hiko pop. Now they're in a pretty decent spot. Steel on that operator. He has the lockdown in his back pocket, so they could play passive on one of the sites. Nitro 1 orb away from the res. Even though the economy is lying in Genji's favor, these ults are shifting now into 100 Thieves' favor.
Once again, we see Win sort of representing that he might be the solo control around A main, but as we can see, the entire team of Genji is behind this A main take, and they're going to go for the swing. Ethan spots it. Orb is collected. Win, he's definitely looking to find a moment to go in here. The drone will go in first. Positions wine will be cleared, and now that's the go for Genji, straight into the site. Once again, though, it's going to be given up, but Genji, 100 Thieves have the lockdown now that can be placed around Cat, and that's what Steel's about to do. There we go. Is there anything to destroy this?
Immediately countered by Mikael. He's so ready, and it's down. It's a 5-on-5 retake again, Dan, but no ults this time.
And we have those knives out for win as well, so I feel like that's going to be very dangerous. It'll be so much harder to clear out these closer positions against him with no showstopper. There's so many players rafters.
They're scared to go.
And they should be. They should be extremely scared. They're going to have to force the issue there. There goes the turret, and it's starting to swing together. Win stuck in the cloud, but sprayed down by Asuna. It is very difficult here for 100 Thieves, and it gets just worse and worse as Gen.G are able to defend all of these players coming out rafters, leaving Steel in a position where he just has to save. And might be able to get one on the exit, but it's another round for Gen.G.
He needs to save this. Yeah, this is a scary spot for 100 Thieves, Dan, because what I'm seeing early is they have found a weakness in 100 Thieves Ascent. And the weakness is that this A main control is very lacking. It's not coordinated enough on 100 Thieves. And Gen.G's just strolling right up and getting it with a jet every single round. You know, there's not enough aggression on 100 Thieves right now to stop this A main. And then they're trying to play retake on A, which is a huge fail in these 5-on-5s.
And you can see 4 players for A main control here for 100 Thieves this time around. They've got Asuna's attention on that position. Of course, it is somewhat of a save round, still carrying what he had through previously, that operator. But otherwise, it looks like Gen.G are in a pretty good spot here. And that said, Steel is pretty good at finding these kills by himself, and the operator is the perfect weapon to do this with. And if he gets a pick and is able to fall back, that's going to be a massive, massive win for 100 Thieves in this round. Oh, that's
what a peek from Kusta. That's insane. And then they're waiting on the opposite side. Holy cow, Kusta with a 200 IQ jump play.
Oh, that's so good. Because if Steel gets that pick and is able to fall back somehow, it could certainly buy a lot of time. But that's it. Operator is down, out of the picture. And 100 Thieves, they're starting to look pretty desperate, Sean, but I completely agree with you. It feels like they have to aggressively win a main control at the start of their next gun round. It feels like there's nothing else that makes sense at this point.
Yeah, they have to win a main against Win. And it was too easy. You were saying but when Win spots, you know, Nitro pushing A main at the stage, he also feels the Omen's pressure. He feels the pressure from, I believe, one other player. His impact is incredible because he's spotting this push, and you can tell that the pace of the rest of the Gen.G players is coming in based on his comms, right? He's calling, they're pushed aggressively A main. What does that mean? That means probably mid or B is really weak right now. Let's take advantage of that. So Kusta's aware, hey, they saved an op last round. I got to be really careful around these angles because the rest of the guys are A main and the op's not there. Let me jump peek this B main corner. And once they find him, it's just over. Once they find out exactly woo! We're trying to switch it up and go into Steel, and that's not gonna work. That's the first time I think an early pick has gone in 100 Thieves' favor.
It feels like Gen.G expected there to be heavier aggression A main as well, because it looks like they were in positions to just burst onto B, expecting maybe 3 players pushing A main, but that's not the case. They just had Steel there. So it seems like now, because of that, Gen.G are coming out really behind in the mid round because there's 3 players to slow them down from 100 Thieves. And there you go, Asuna finding the kill pizza. And oh, I love the ice orb there to help Asuna reclaim the ground in mid. And that completely destroys this split. Nitro playing around the wall as well. It's a desperation push at this point from Gen.G, and it's failed.
Wow. And I mean, we see it a lot in EU. If you've been watching EU lately, the Sages at B with that wall exactly like that, and then slows where they could chuck them into mid or slow down B if people try to come through the wall. And then the wall creates an extra angle for you to hide behind if you're Nitro right there. There's so much difficulty for attackers coming into B when that wall is up. I mean, I can't even state how difficult it is, right? Because he is creating new angles that you now have to be aware of when he puts up this wall. And then he's slowing the other side of the push. So you can't really pinch him properly, and you have to like use utility to clear out these angles that your strats probably aren't really designed to clear out. So, I mean, Nitro plays the Sage role so well when I watch him in this B side. It's another great example of it.
Yeah, great stuff. And I want to know, how many times was Sage nerfed and she's still amazing? You know, it's
yeah,
it's amazing.
If you see here, he slows like that, and then Asuna has paint shells ready to nade if he sees any pressure. but the timing!
Oh, just contacting straight through. Nitro was not expecting that. No tell at all. Just straight out in there, in his face. And that's the B side under control here. Gen.G switching up the pace on 100 Thieves. And they'll even drop the lockdown. So that's going to really slow things down for 100 Thieves retake. Ooh. Everybody's in spawn here now for 100 Thieves.
It has the showstopper, Dan. Other than that, get in the sight. Paranoia on the Omen, maybe?
There's the showstopper. Win goes down towards the logs. Asuna with a good entry. It's looking not too bad right now for 100 Thieves. Gen.G starting to fight back though. There's the fake TP from GMD. Finds the timing onto Asuna. And that's going to lock down the round. Another one in the bag for Gen.G. What an incredible start from there. 7-2. That is a huge lead. And GMD actually, 13 for 3. He is fragging out. So always good to see your Roman fragging out.
There's nothing better in this game than when an Omen breaks the ankles off of someone with a fake TP, Dan. There's nothing better when Asuna turned his head not knowing where that TP went to. Oh, I love seeing that out of GMD. Gen.G is playing so loose, and this is what I was worried of for 100 Thieves, because they're breaking the timings with this aggression. Oh no, Nitro misses the wall, I think, a little bit right there. And the fights continue at A main.
And 1-for-1 at least, as far as Gen.G are concerned, that will have them at an advantage. Quick information play coming through from Ethan, regaining control around A main. But as I say that, the peek from Steel in mid is punished.
So that means alarm bot down, Dan. Turret down. No impact from a Killjoy. Oh, scary 3-on-3 for 100 Thieves.
They get the drone tag, but there's over a minute left. So
what?
Going for the frags, and I don't know how Sean wins that one or how that even missed for Nitro, but it is what it is, and that's a 4 versus 2 advantage. Make that 4 versus 1. Kiko in the 1 versus 4. I don't know about this time, lads. We'll have to see, but it's a tough one.
Look, we've said in the past we're not going to count Higo and clutches, Dan. 8-2. I'm counting him out. I'm counting him out. Not possible.
I feel like that is reasonable. And he's down to 10 HP. Shock Dart's coming through. Now there is an operator that could be saved, but I believe, but he will go down to Sean. So, you know, you mentioned Sean needs to have some impact in this game, and I feel like Sean's been doing a pretty good job. But really, for me, it feels like it is a team effort. Despite Win not having that many kills, it doesn't matter, because what he's doing in terms of creating space for the team, his part of the default, and entering sites has been extremely impactful. So everybody, it's absolutely a team effort right now from Gen.G. They are looking well oiled.
Yeah, and the confidence on the duelist, right? When taking A main super aggressively. Sean, even though he's tagged by drones 2 rounds now, I've seen him take challenges while tagged by the dog. I mean, look, these peaks coming out of the duelist. They're playing with immense confidence right now. And they are busting 100 Thieves setups and winning the gun duels. What I'm seeing out of Gen.G is the perfect counter to 100 Thieves game plan.
Yeah, you love to see it. And what's interesting is there is the monkey on the back for Gen.G insofar as this element that they to their game, that they do struggle to close the big matches even when they get big leads. And I feel like they're definitely in a position to not fall to that demon of theirs and to, you know, set it all straight going forward, but that still exists in the context, so we'll keep an eye out for that. But with that said, of course, we do see a kill in middle as we get a mid-round convergence of players towards Cat as Michael clears out Cat and Tree, and that will give access to the A site where a single player lurks. It's Nitro with the Sheriff.
Spike planted.
Ooh, they didn't actually clear him out. I don't think it should matter too much because he can't have much impact unless he slimes out on the left side here and dodges the A main guy. Is he gonna do it, Dan?
Player standing.
Versus 4 for Nitro. There's the first frag, and Win is going to knock him down, so no chance for Nitro there ultimately. Another round in the bag for Gen.G. They are 9-2 up. It's crazy. This is the best I've seen them look on an attacking side, and they've definitely been doing a lot of work in anticipation of this game.
They have, I mean, this is This is a dominant performance from Gen G, and perhaps the best performance I've seen the Gen G Valorant squad put up in the recent months. They have been on a skyrocket type rise in the scene in NA, but this is special. Beating 100 Thieves 9-2 right now in attack, showing this kind of aggression. 100 Thieves has no answers right now. Super quick mid control coming out of Gen G. They're gonna break this alarm bot in a couple seconds.
And there's so much
coming
time.
out of Michael.
Yeah, there's so much time in the round, and I feel like Gen G have so much control already. Hiko with the pick, and Steel getting aggressive through A main, and Asuna able to just make things a little bit slower towards that A site. So then Steel's able to capitalize as they're slowed on that catwalk position. It's all coming together for 100 Thieves. Great follow-up from Steel with that operator. And nice little flourish at the end to finish the half with at least 3 rounds to their name. 100 Thieves, certainly not in the best of positions, but that is going to give them something to work with going into the second half. And the second half, everything could change here. 100 Thieves are on the attack now. 100 Thieves get to set the pace. Of course, it all starts with the pistol, but this is definitely not over just yet.
No, I don't think it's over yet, but like you said, the pistol means a lot right now for both of these teams. I mean, Gen G could just close this first map out so quickly by winning the pistol. By the way, I never thought I would see a defense-sided lockdown in tiles, but here we are. And this is, I mean, 100 Thieves has no one on the B side of the map right now. This is definitely gonna be a cat split, very similar to what we saw, on the eco round from Gen G. I think we're gonna see Hiko drone up cat, drone up A main with Ethan following it. These 3 guys going up catwalk together. A smoke at garden for them from Ethan.
Oh, Michael, I like this. Playing for A main control. And, oh, that's the spike as well, down from Michael. The trade from Win. That means Gen G have spike control. And although, yeah, you got the A site 100 Thieves, you got to go back to A main now. And Win can waste time. He's got a cloud burst, drops it. He can fall back. He can even rotate up catwalk, which looks like he might be going for that. And this has bought time for Gen G to get onto Rafters.
Oh. And
now another choke point for 100 Thieves to have to contest, but it's just simply too difficult. They are caught on both sides. The paranoia there. There goes the dash for a win to shut it down. Gen G are going to take the pistol, and oh man, it's so, I can't, Sean, it's so smart. I love when teams, when the attackers going up catwalk, they just take a main control and give up the site. I love that so much.
God, I'm grinning ear to ear right now, Dan. It's so good to see a team like Gen G come up through the ranks, and that might be an anti-strat because I've seen Hiko and Ethan do the same exact play previously in this bracket. So this is definitely a counter play, but I love how they recognize 100 Thieves had to wall heaven, so now they have to go back and get the spike. We should break this and be posted on them when they come out. Don't give them any respect. Don't let them have any free time to do their setups and allow them to run their strats. They're playing so disruptive.
And it's the Sheriff's back at it again here for 100 Thieves. Feels like we've been in this position a bunch of times in this Ascent game already. On the attack, they've gained some forward ground already towards mid-markets. Sean is still there, and he's got a crossfire.
Oh, they'll never expect this Omen, Dan. They'll never expect it. Great bait from Sean.
He's not trying to oversell it as well.
And then the guy shut. Oh, he overcommits.
Well, GD has to try to close this down with a Spectre. He'll get both kills. There's the spike on the ground, in control for Gen G. As Michael finishes off one player top mid, Ethan's remaining. He is quite a beast with that Sheriff. We'll have to see if he can find any more action, but he'll get shut down as well. Gen G not allowing any space to breathe for 100 Thieves as they go 11-3 in the lead.
Again, I mean, I can tell Gen G has put in tons of homework. This is a lot of anti-shrouding going on. When we saw 100 Thieves previously approach their attack side of Ascent, Nitro would work up mid with this boom bot coming from Asuna, and then he would wall off CT spawn. They would break the door. They would cause a big ruckus. So you can see this setup was an exact counter to what 100 Thieves is running. And the pistol round, I could say the same exact thing. It's a perfect counter. 100 Thieves is just getting hard counter right now. They're running the same game plan, and Gen G is super prepared. Hey, look at the disrespect to the turret he made. They just...
Oh, expecting to walk through the smoke there. Sean, as well as GMD, just doing so well in these forward positions, and oof, it's really tough right now if you're in 100 Thieves' shoes, of course. Very, very slim pickings.
Remaining.
No margin
Spike
for error
down mid.
at this point. Eco just with the ghost in the 1 versus 4. And Genji haven't shown signs of letting up a single time so far, playing everything with such a degree of focus that they seem like they have leveled themselves up. I haven't seen them looking so confident so far in this tournament until this moment. It looks very good.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, this looks beyond very good, Dan. This is like a showcase Genji is putting on for everyone right now, that they're a contender to win this tournament. They're definitely a dark horse based on what I'm seeing right now. Coming into the tournament, I mean, we all thought, Sentinels, 100 Thieves, FaZe, all these teams are going to be the ones to look out. Envy. No one really talks much about Genji, but they're now capable of this since adding Kusta, since making tiny changes to their comps, and just the style of play I see. Like, they're so proactive. Like this.
Wow. Yeah, Ethan taking down Win. Michael's in the 4th position. He doesn't want to give this up, though. He's going to be forced to eventually, and there is a paranoia used, actually. It's great to get that out of the hands of the attackers, at least. Michael falls back. Asuna, some space gained towards that B side as well. Spike being picked up by Nitro now as they'll all go back, but GMD in mid, this could actually cause problems because they have to cross these angles. They are rotating towards B, and Genji know absolutely everything that's happening. They are 2 against 4 though, so of course they are working from a great disadvantage in numbers, but again, holding the cross at GMD can, oh, well, there's the dark cover, so that ruins that one, but he's gonna go forwards through this one. So confident, you said it, Sean, but it won't work out for him this time. Ethan with the shutdown, leaving Michael alone with the operator in the 1 versus 4.
Oof, and absolutely, I mean, clearly a must-win round for 100 Thieves. They're down 12-3. They can't lose anymore. On the other hand, for Genji, you can see this is kind of a throwaway round. We mentioned it last half. They had Spectres. They didn't really invest everything they had into this round. And Mikhail's coming out of it with an operator. I mean, he picked this up off of Steel's body. So this is actually quite a successful round. Coming into the next round with an op for Hwin. He won't have to invest into it. I mean, 100 Thieves has a lot of work to do before I'm a believer in the comeback.
Yeah, I definitely agree. But this is a good start at the very least. As you say, it's kind of scary because you don't really know what Genji is. Oh, they actually got him beautiful there.
They both spammed him.
That's a huge win. I mean, well, speaking of Win and the operator, another one will be in the hands of Win, but that's a lot of money spent, of course.
Yeah, you can see that actually puts GMD on a Spectre, because what would have happened was Mikhail dropping the operator over to Hwin, and then Hwin dropping a rifle down to Mikhail, and then, Mikhail someone probably giving a gun over to GMD, probably Hwin, actually. And now look at the buy. It's very hobbled. That's a big find.
Jump Peak will find Win in mid, some information.
Look at this bait setup, Dan. This Reyna sitting in the corner. They know the turret's there. The second contact is made. Omen blind, swing.
Great kill from Steel. There's the blind, though. There's the swing, just as you said, Sean, and the trade is through for Genji. And that's actually, even though they go down 4 versus 4, that's a lot of info for them now. So there are some benefits to that. And you can see that 100 Thieves know that. They're going to speed things up, going for the push, but it's going to be difficult. There are 2 players on site. Nitro will deal with one of them, with the wall behind the smoke that we've seen so many times before. And actually, after all is said and done on the A site, Genji are left only with 2 players who are looking to be saving on that B side already.
Yeah, you mentioned a lot of info for Genji. It was also a lot of info for 100 Thieves, right? The second Steel gets that frag, he knows 1's B main. The Omen paranoia comes through the wall. He knows 2 are B main. The Killjoy swings to take him out. He now knows they did a 3-person B setup, right? So that means across mid, across catwalk, across A, there's only 2 players. There's 2 players covering all the rest of the map. So 100 Thieves speeds it up super quick. After Steel realizes that, you can see the speed in which 100 Thieves approaches the A site. They pounce on it, the Omen ults into it. It's just too much to handle. They have a 4-on-2 in the A site, and it could have gone a little bit better, but everything goes 100 Thieves' way on this given round.
I think you described it really nicely, and that is definitely that's the difficulty when you're playing against a team who's defaulting, because they have the ability to react on the fly to what they see. And we'll see if Geng decide to start playing more passively, start playing a bit more standard themselves as we go into the following gun rounds. And we're going to see a Bucky on win. Of course, some of the saved rifles, but ultimately they're not going to be spending their last dime. They'll be keeping enough money for the following rounds. And looks pretty standard from Geng side of things.
I think when the turret makes contact at B main, he shock darts. So it just made contact. He's shock darting right now. I'm kind of curious if that... Oh, there it is right there. Yeah, that kind of hurt them a little bit.
I like it.
He's timing it off of the turret.
We saw 2 there. That was actually pretty big information, as opposed to just a Killjoy. Holding ground, but GMD spots the spike! He is on another level right now. Takes down a second player. Huge information there for both teams once again, but it's Geng that surely come out the better. Win in the cap position there with that Bucky can be extremely dangerous. And with a minute to go, 100 Thieves aren't necessarily pressed for time, but it does feel quite desperate for them as they start to rotate towards this A site. And it's a complete retake setup from Geng. Geng opting not to play for info just yet. They've got the forward position in win. They're happy to give up the A site and play that retake game. And there is no lockdown available, but Michael has the Hunter's Fury.
Steel is going to put down his lockdown. They have the showstopper on Austin. I'm curious if he's just going to run in with that. They have Ethan on smokes, but they lost Hiko's vision, right? They don't have a recon. They don't have a drone. They also don't have a wall, and they always use that wall on these A hits. So the hit seems a little bit hobbled coming out of 100 Thieves, but they're going to secure the site at very least.
Oh, the timing is beautiful from Asuna. So intelligent from him. And there's 3 versus 2 on the retake now, and it's a couple of Sheriffs and the Phantom. It's not looking great. Ethan able to take down Sean, and all of a sudden, it starts to look very favorable for 100 Thieves, defending the spike. Lots of time on the spike, lots of time for the defenders to work this retake. The resources aren't there, but oh, a distraction. Michael punishes Ethan, turning away, and it's down to Steel with the operator. We've seen great things from him. He's got to do it again. Finds the shot, the 1 versus 1, and again, he will not miss the Red Bull clutch for Steel, as he always is going to lead by example for 100 Thieves.
Whew. What an impactful round coming out of Steel. We've seen him a lot on the lurk. We haven't seen him opt this much, actually. This game, he's opt a lot. And I mean, people have their doubts on if this can work. When I read a lot of comments, not having that Jet main on the op, they previously had Dicey. That's so good for an operator, having those Jet movement abilities. Seeing it on Killjoy seems a little clunky, but Steel's kind of making it work so far.
There's the turret. Win will shoot that one down. 2 players B main, 2 players A main here for 100 Thieves on their default. With Steel just looking after mid with that operator. So they've got a lot of vision, and they spotted nothing so far from Geng, Sean. So they don't really know what Geng are working with on their defense just yet.
No, they have A main, like you mentioned. GMD is throwing some smokes there, and Geng has this insane triangle setup on Catwalk. If 100 Thieves takes this round into Catwalk, they would be in big trouble. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the intent of 100 Thieves this round. It looks like they're probably going to end up gravitating a little bit more towards the B site. Nitro looks like he wants to wall up and look into the site. He might make that play soon. I think he is.
Kusa does have a lockdown as well. So this is, yeah.
Omen's going to TP in the site, Dan. He's going to TP in.
Oh, let's see it. Oh, love the Ice Orb as well, trying to punish the B stairs player. That is Kusta on the Killjoy. He's in a pretty difficult spot, but that's some good damage from Kusta. He's surely got to be aware of this wall situation. Nothing's come of the walls just yet in terms of actual frags, and in fact, it's going to go the reverse. Nitro falling off of the wall thanks to Sean. However, the trace come through, and it's hard to see exactly what's going on, but with Sean's double, that will change everything. They can't get through the choke point, and 100 Thieves now have no time to do anything else. It's just Steel again with the operator. And, well, He's going to go down, and that's the 13-6. Gen G with an extremely confident showing out of the gate, smashing 100 Thieves, putting any doubts to rest on map 1 here, and going into Icebox where